so that's good because I'm quite self-conscious about holding a selfie stick in the middle of a train and making a video. If you can see some of the scenery out there, maybe you can. Mostly the Swiss houses, but wow, mountains, lake. This is what we like. So I'm on my way to training in England. We're going to do an inner dance workshop, a 4-day facilitated training. It's very exciting. These things always prove to be quite a cage-rattling experience. They stir a lot of things up, and they're good. They're good for giving me insight, further insight into the conversation of what inner dance is and what the hell I'm doing really, and why am I here and what am I doing with it, because I think for me I find it so fascinating to see how people are reacting and responding, and what are these collective archetypes that we're each playing in the inner dance arena when we come to it, and how the music stimulates that, how the movement and the breath work triggers and stimulates that. But I did want to make a quick video on things that I'm finding particularly useful. I'm getting a lot of mileage out of these things at the moment. I recently went on a trip to Prague and met my friend Sebastiaan, who's a social anxiety coach, and you can find some of his work at socialanxietysolutions.com. That's a free plug. And he uses energy psychology a lot. I've used energy psychology a lot in the past, and for a while now I've been using more the modality of inner dance and breath work, but I find the structure of energy psychology really useful. It's good for getting into the details of the collective belief systems and finding out where emotions are trapped and things are difficult to release. And so I've been revisiting some of the energy psychology parts, and in particular the emotion code that is invented by a guy called Bradley somebody. I should probably know this. He invented this thing called the emotion code, where you find and release trapped emotions. This is quite an interesting practice. I've been getting a lot of mileage out of it. So that's one, the emotion code. I've been going back and revisiting some of my earlier things with that. The second one is a type of meditation where so Vipassana meditation is very useful, where you focus in on the tiny, tiny details and the micro sensations of things happening within the body. And I've also found it beneficial to, as you're doing that, simultaneously practice expanding into the space around you. So imagine looking in on yourself from a sphere. You can imagine yourself being bigger than you are, but still containing the body at the same time with the physical, while paying attention to the physical sensations that are happening in the body. And through that you get a sense of the energy in motion, or the E-motion that's coming through has a certain rhythm to it, a certain movement, and oftentimes we're so tense around that in the body that it's very difficult for that emotion to move. But once you expand yourself outside of the body while still being aware of the sensations that are happening in the body, you then begin to get more of a sense, look at that, beautiful. You then begin to get more of a sense of this energy in motion being able to find its way through it. It's allowed its movement, it's allowed its passage through the body. And so whenever you feel yourself tensing up around some potentially intense or volatile emotion, you can expand out to a greater sphere. Sometimes it can be up into the air and down below, or out to the side, or just imagining yourself looking in on your body from this bigger energy field of consciousness. And that way the emotion that has this motion can move itself through. So this has also been working great for me for a long time. The third one is kind of a strange one, but bear with me on this, because I had some physical back pain, and the only thing that would give me relief from this for a while was imagining a drilling into my back, and imagining the blood spilling and the body being shredded. And it's kind of the relief that you would imagine associated with death. So the body's in life and it's holding a lot of tension, but once the body is destroyed and shredded, then there's a sense of kind of relief of the body doesn't need to hold that tension. And I was finding great relief from just relaxing into the feeling of this pain being allowed its own passage, and from imagining being cut. Working with a lot of power tools at the minute, so I'd have these kind of strange visualizations of the body being cut with these things and the tension being released that way, and relaxing into it and allowing that as a visualization seemed to give this pain what's the word, acknowledgement, or a particular sense of allowing it to be there and going more extreme than the actual pain that was there, which in some way released a lot of tension, a lot of pressure. It's like giving in, because I didn't have a feeling like I was holding on to anything anymore. It was so extreme that it allowed it through. So this is another technique that I've been finding good, particularly for physical pain, but when you get to the more intense and volatile emotions that move very fast and we have a lot of tension around them, expanding out and letting a more extreme version of that visualizing, so it almost like it one-ups it, and the other pain that you're experiencing is then allowed its passage through the body as well. And the final thing that I've been revisiting, apart from EFT tapping, which is good, is this particular, it's similar to this. It was taught to me by a French guy in the Philippines, and he's going under the name energy medicine, and it's a particular technique where if you can combine all of these things at the same time, which takes a bit of practice, but you cross your arms over your chest. Let's see if we can do this. You cross your arms over your chest and you tap on either side, and what this does is, as you're doing this, your arms are crossed similar to the I'll stop doing that now because that was a hard balance, but your arms are crossed similar to a Psych-K position, and what this does apparently is reverse the polarity of your electromagnetic field, and as you're doing that, you're stimulating both sides, the left and the right side of the brain. I'll probably need to look into that a little bit more, but what I do know is that it's been quite effective. It's been quite effective in just, so I'm stimulating the finger points, the meridians, and I'm doing it on opposite sides with crossed hands. And I've been finding that quite effective just to let things in and let things through. I'll often do that at the end of an emotion code session just to relax the body a little bit more. It does have quite a relaxing effect on the body in a similar way that EFT does when you tap and stimulate the meridian points. It gives a signal to the amygdala and the parasympathetic nervous system to calm down. And so these are a couple of things that I've been getting a lot of mileage out of lately. Any which way, I'm about to get off the train, so thanks for checking in. I'll speak to you